it dawned on me, Guy, for the first time ever. Here's my epiphany, okay, that I would like to share. I had always had football coaches. I had always had soccer coaches, baseball coaches, tutors in classes, all that kind of stuff. I have a meditation teacher. But for some reason, I thought that I was going to be able to make money online on my own without a guide. And it was just like a light bulb was like, wow, so simple, but so profound. I've just been trying to do it myself instead of just asking someone to show me how.
All right, and welcome to this week's episode of Guest with Guy. So for those of you who haven't come across this segment before, essentially the premise of it is I invite a fellow digital entrepreneur, somebody essentially that started their own online business, on to have a good old chat with me and a good old, I suppose, share a little bit more about them and their stories. So this week, I'm very grateful to have none other than Mr. Matt Lathamson. Matt, thank you very much for being here with us today, mate.
Sure.
So Matt, I usually like to start these chats really just by inviting you to say a little bit about yourself, you know, your background, where you've come from, and ultimately what led you to the decision to start your own online business. So
okay,
please fire away.
Okay, I'll do my best to be relatively brief, and I'm sure people are like, is that guy lying down? So I think I'll explain. You know what? I wish I'd have grabbed a photo of it, but I've got long-term health issues with my nervous system that prevents me from being upright for a long time. And so I've got this cool computer desk that I found on eBay that hangs the computer above my face. And so I'm able to work while laying on my back. And I've built my online businesses, not lying down all the time, but lying down lots of times. And, you know, part of my messaging is that if I can do that while, you know, much of the time disabled and lots of the times in constant pain, then anyone can do it. And, you know, the rest is just excuses, really. And so I try to, I don't know, kind of talk about that. But I live in Arizona, in Scottsdale. I was a certified financial planner until I hurt myself really badly at the gym. I was bench pressing. I was a football player back in the day, and so it was a lot of weight, and my pectoral muscle snapped. And about a year after having the surgery to fix it, I started having all these problems in my spine, and lots of unexplained symptoms, and it was crazy. And I, at the time, was a heavy drug and alcohol abuser. And I didn't tell the doctors that. And so when they were prescribing, you know, all of the drugs that have street value, I was eating those too. And it microwaved me. And it microwaved me into recovery, which was actually a good thing. And in that time, I had quit my financial planning job. You know, my reality crashed down around me because I realized once I got sober that I had no coping skills whatsoever. And that, you know, the reason I drank and did drugs was that I had no coping skills. And so I had to deal with all that stuff. And with health issues and surgeries that didn't work and medications that didn't work, and then getting off of all those medications, I had to figure out, well, if none of these external things work, what the hell is going to help me? So I got really into spirituality and law of attraction, and, you know, all sorts of cool authors like Abraham Hicks and Deepak Chopra and Louise Hay and Marianne Williamson and Neil Donald Walsh, and I could just rattle off, you know, names. And I got addicted to figuring out who I am and how I fit into things. And during that time, I had quit my financial planning job and went back to school. I found a place called the University of Metaphysical Sciences. It's in California, and I just wound up taking classes online. And about 18 months later, they ordained me as a minister of metaphysics. And not that I have any desire to pastor a church or anything. And if you saw me walking down the street, you know, covered with tattoos, especially in like a tank top, I'd look like an absolute hooligan. So I guess it's kind of fun not really playing the part. But long story short, my best friend asked me to officiate his wedding. So while disabled, no job, I remember laying in the hotel. It was in California. I just had to lay on my back all day to save my stamina so that I could officiate his wedding. And it was just an insanely positive experience. And afterward, all of my friends came up to me and they were like, Matt, dude, this is what you should be doing. So I didn't get to party that much that night because of my health. And so I went back up into the hotel room and I just laid on my back for most of the night. And when we came back into town, I started poking around online and I realized that all the other ministers were conservative, relatively speaking, older men, and looking like the way that I look and being super flexible with spiritual beliefs and, letting people do whatever they want. I realized there was a market for me. And so I kind of got into internet marketing in 2009, just to launch a wedding officiant business. Well, fast forward to the economy collapsed, and my wedding officiant business really grew as my health got a little bit better. But when the economy turned south, and again, I guess I should tell, I'm a certified financial planner, so I understand the way that money works. And when the central banks of the world started printing a ton of money to prop the markets up, something didn't feel right. So I started looking into financial history, and then I saw that it's never worked in the history of the world when banks do that. And so it's like, wow, okay, if that has never worked, why is it going to work this time? So I thought, okay, if the economy really crashes because what they're doing is actually making the problem worse, then the wedding industry is just going to get crushed, because weddings are a discretionary expense really for the most part, because you can just go down to the courthouse and get married for $80. So in an effort to protect my family's income and also learn, just how to earn a living online, I thought to myself, this is the way I got to do this. So my health issues, and I forgot. So my health issues make me, and I don't want to program this in my mind. In the past, health issues have made me unemployable because my body has special needs and limitations. Plus, my fear that my primary way of earning money is going to be gone when the economy crashes again. It was like, shoot, I got to figure out how to support my family or how to contribute. And so I was on YouTube. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Guy, and I'm sorry if I'm blabbing. I'm just trying to get this out because I think it's relevant. Good. Okay, cool. The first thing I tried to make money online was as an Amazon affiliate for Amazon.com. They have the largest affiliate program on the planet. It's super easy as far as, linking. You log in, there's a stripe on your internet browser. You find a product you like. You click on show me my affiliate link, you copy it, and then you paste it somewhere online. And if someone clicks through and buys, you get a commission. The challenge is there's at least at the time, there was no training whatsoever. And even though I consider myself to be a relatively smart guy, I couldn't figure it out, and I totally failed. Well, then I thought, okay, drop shipping. I've heard a lot about drop shipping. Let me try that. And so I actually contacted suppliers myself of gardening products like water filtration systems, RO stuff, and worm farms for gardening because worms compost the soil. And I found a few suppliers that were into it. I would sell their products on Amazon, and then I would just send the orders from the people who bought on Amazon directly through to the supplier. They would send everything. They would fulfill the order, I didn't have to hold any inventory. Sounds great, but Amazon changes their fees a lot. It was hard, and I lost money at that too. Then I tried a multi-level company. They wouldn't let me market their products online, and I just thought, I'm not having Tupperware parties or whatever. That's just a ridiculous use of my time. You can't scale that. So I quit. So then, as always, I'm on YouTube. I'm a YouTuber. Pretty much everything I've learned about gardening, I learned on YouTube. And I was listening to, I think, Abraham Hicks. And I've been listening to Abraham Hicks for years and years and years. And an ad popped up, and it was Stuart Ross. And he was saying that he teaches people how to start profitable online businesses from scratch. And I am an absolute student of the law of attraction, and I was looking. So I thought to myself, oh my God, I put it out into the universe that I am looking for a way to earn a living online, and here is this guy. So I clicked, I registered I put in my email address, I received a video series, and I knew within the first video that this was by far the most legitimate thing, other than like Amazon.com that I had found that was like guidance. And it dawned on me, Guy, for the first time ever, here's my epiphany, okay, that I would like to share. I had always had football coaches. I had always had soccer coaches, baseball coaches, tutors in classes, all that kind of stuff. I have a meditation teacher. But for some reason, I thought that I was going to be able to make money online on my own without a guide. And it was just like, a light bulb was like, wow, so simple, but so profound. I've just been trying to do it myself instead of just asking someone to show me how. And so I signed up, and I went through the first training module, and then I became a full member. And, they do push their students through the curriculum. And so my bullshit detectors went on, and I was like, oh man, please don't be a scam. And so I think this is a good message to share with people. So this was in January of 2016 when I first started with the Six Figure Mentors. So I was afraid it was going to be a scam, but I also was like, no, I mean, this looks legit. So going through the modules, you can learn all kinds of stuff. And they tell you a little bit about everything so that then you can focus on what's interesting to you. And I already had a business that I was able to market. I was a wedding officiant, and I had a wedding officiant business that I could work on and test out the training. And I already write for a living. I write wedding ceremonies. So I focused on blogging. And I know lots of people would hear that and be like, blogging, so dumb. I mean, I was like that. I thought, if you're a blogger, you're just a loser. But what I realized after going through the training was that people blog for two reasons. A, to add keyword-rich pages and content to their website so that they're found by the search engines. So it's a free strategy to bring traffic to your website. So it makes a lot of sense, right? I just prejudged without knowing. And then the other reason people blog is because they're selling affiliate products on their website. So if you're reading someone's blog post and they talk about something and there's a link and you click that link and you go through and then you make a purchase, there's a pretty good chance that the blogger is collecting commission, and that's how they are supporting their family. And so I was like, oh, bloggers aren't losers. I prejudge people, right? So anyways, so I learned how to blog. I went through the modules, and I've got 3 blog posts on my website. So they also teach keyword research. And so luckily with wedding officiants and people who are looking for someone to minister their weddings, there's not a lot of competition. So I was able to find some keyword phrases to get me on the first page of Google. And I averaged those 3 blog posts. I know there's one of them that I checked last month, and I haven't checked since then. So, this is honest to a fault. And that one blog post had brought 450 people to my website in the previous 30-day period. And those 3 blog posts now bring me on average 1.5 new customer inquiries every single day. And so what they did for me was create more business that I could handle for free. And so I went back, and all of the wedding websites where I was advertising my officiant business, I was paying for it, I canceled. And they have not stopped bothering me, trying to get me to renew. And I'm like, I don't need you anymore. I know how to blog, and I can bring traffic to my website for free. Then I hired someone, and that scared the crap out of me because I always thought people are hiring me to officiate their wedding. I'm the best. They want me. But at the end of the day, they just want a certain style ceremony, and they just want to get married. It's not about me. It's about them, right? So I cloned myself by hiring 3 people. I currently still only have 1. It's having employees. And I want to bring that up as well, you guys. What I learned through this process is that I do not want to have employees. I'm not good at it, and I don't enjoy it. And I don't like holding people's hands and babying them, because I have been through a lot, and I was raised by football coaches who were like, suck it up, sissy, get up, and so that's just how I kind of approach life. And you can't take that approach with employees, right? It doesn't work. I learned that. And so, I've got one guy who's great, but I don't want employees. And affiliate marketing and online business is super cool for lots of reasons. But one of them is that you don't have to have any employees if you don't want to. And so that I think is really neat. Interrupt me at any time, but I feel like I'm still just kind of spewing out stuff that matters. But
it's all very, very valuable information, mate. I've learned loads about your. We've been speaking for quite a while, but I've learned. I've had a few jaw drop moments myself. So please continue.
Good. So after blogging and after proving to myself that the training that the SFM teaches works, I was up in Flagstaff with my kids. Okay, and my health challenges, Guy, really they really prevent me from traveling. And we've not done a lot as a family over the last decade because of just not being able to be upright for a long period of time. Uh, so this past January, it was January of 2018. We were up in Flagstaff, Arizona, which is northern Arizona in the mountains, and my kids had never seen snow before. It had not snowed yet, and we went there, and we were blessed. It snowed 8 inches the morning that we woke up, and my kids literally exploded, okay? And the joy that they were experiencing, it was like a light switch. And I knew right then, it was just like, I saw how my oldest daughter is almost 10 and my youngest is 6. And I saw how we have not done anything as a family, and we've made almost no memories because of my health and because I've been working weekends for a decade officiating weddings. And so we haven't even been able to go anywhere other than during the summers because I've been working. And I'm blessed to be working. God bless. I'm so grateful to be able to get paid really great money, and I only have to be on my feet for like 2 hours. But there are trade-offs, like with anything. And it was a light switch, man. I knew right then that I didn't want to work weekends anymore, ever. You know, I love officiating weddings. I love it. It's so spiritually gratifying. I get to create this wonderful memory and lift people up emotionally, and I get to be part of it and share in the energy. It's amazing. It's amazing. But it is not more amazing than my family. And I knew without a shadow of a doubt right then that I had to develop an exit strategy and get out of officiating weddings on the weekends, because before I know it, my kids are going to be teenagers and they're not going to want to hang out with me anymore. And so I contacted Mark Hayes, and for those watching this video, he is someone within the Six Figure Mentors who handles the training packages that require a larger investment. And I said, let's do it. Tell me what I need to do. I am all in. And that was in basically February of 2018. I was basically a partner and affiliate for the Six Figure Mentors by like March or April. April is when I started to pay for advertising, and I've made a ton of mistakes, and I've learned a lot. And just for the people who are watching, I'm just going to tell you, my commission in the first year was just shy of $20,000. And you know what? Not the first year. I'm sorry. From April of 2018 to December 31st, 2018. So what is that? April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. 9 months. In 9 months, my commission was just shy of $20,000. And honestly, Guy, I thought I was going to be making a lot more than that. And I thought that my sights are still set much higher. But hey, man, 20 grand in 9 months is not bad. And I've learned a lot, and I've got new websites set up, and I honestly have the knowledge and the skills to support my family in a totally unconventional way that is amazing. And I feel super passionate about it. And I am thrilled that you're sharing the message, and I'm glad to be here. And if it can work for me, guys, and I say guys because I'm talking to you and everyone watching, if I can do it laying on my back and in pain, and honestly, you can do it too. And the community has been unbelievable in helping me and picking me up. And Guy, the coaches. So I'm sorry that I'm blabbing, man, but this is good because I'm on a roll. And I know you want to end, but the coaches have stepped up. And the coaches have reached out to me, and they're like, Matt, what do you need? How can we serve you? And I've got every other week, every other Monday, I've got a regular session with my elite coaches. They're checking in with me on Thursdays. I actually missed by an hour because I got the timing wrong, a call with Mark Ford this morning. So, you know, it's just great. And I feel real blessed to be here, and I don't know. So I'll shut up now. Sorry for talking so much.
No, that's great, mate. Honestly, that was a really, really, thorough intro, but there was a lot of absolutely invaluable content in there, and a lot of stuff to say I didn't know. But what's, I suppose, really nice about your journey, I suppose, so far is firstly that, you know, fair play, hats off to you that you have achieved what you have achieved, despite the fact, you know, it's probably not been as easy for you, let's face it, as maybe it is for other people. So a massive tip of the cap for you there, mate. But I really like the fact that a lot of people, when they enter into the SFM, I think it's fair to say, instinctively go down that affiliate route because they don't necessarily know what they want to do yet. And they know that they don't want to be doing their current day job, but they don't really know what maybe their passion is yet, or what an online business is going to look like for them. So a lot of people probably go straight into that affiliate marketing route of remarketing the SFM. I mean, it's what I'm doing. It's by the sounds of it, obviously, is part of what you're doing.
I think that a lot of people also, they don't want to remarket, or they don't want to market something that they don't know for sure that it works and that everything is trustworthy. And so I think that it's important to share the fact that I was a member for 2 years and I totally tested out everything and proved that it does work before I became an affiliate. So, I prove without a shadow of a doubt that everything is legit. And so I think it's important to share that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, just getting back to the point I was saying about what you've managed to do with that education, like you say, a real life practical example of this isn't about, making money by introducing more people into the SFM and remarketing it. You've actually specifically taken that education about blogging as the example, and that has had a revolutionary impact. Yeah, it's replaced your advertising strategy, and obviously now you've got this strategy where just by learning a few simple skills of blogging, you've managed to create yourself an ongoing revenue stream in an existing business. And I think that's kind of the
well. So you know what? Here's another thing that I would add, and I'm totally sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, sorry.
Anyone, whether you're a corporate consultant, whether you're a wedding minister or whether you're a plumber or an electrician, we all know a lot about something that someone else wants to know about. And so I also repurposed my wedding ceremony material into my own info product that's a download. And most people don't know that in 47 states, anyone can get ordained online to officiate a wedding. And so tons of people officiate one wedding and then they don't ever do it again. And most of those people absolutely bomb, and I hear from wedding planners all the time that another ceremony just in the dust from someone who got ordained online and to just do one wedding. So I purposed everything I know into a downloadable information product that I sell for $50 to help those people. And whether you're a corporate recruiter or whether you're a plumber, something that can be put into an information product made available for download 24/7. And it's one other way to supplement your income. And we learn that kind of stuff here,
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for me, the whole premise of starting an online business was, I mean, look, I do work in recruitment. That's my kind of previous career before I started to go and focus, full gung-ho on my online business. But that particular skill, I was good at it, but I wouldn't say it necessarily really was my passion. And I'm be really honest right now, I'm still deciding on what that, my future of what my online business will look like and what my genuine passion is going to be. But the one thing I am absolutely resolute on and certain now, and why I feel so confident and comfortable being an affiliate of the SFM as kind of my first fledgling, entry into the online business world, is I just know the positive impact that the SFM, not only from the learning skills of how to market online and all that kind of thing, but just from a mindset standpoint and a quality of life standpoint, I just know the positive impact that it's had on me personally, and that's something I think everybody in the world, really, irrespective of whether they're looking to open an online business or not, or whether they're looking to learn their skills, I still think there's a huge amount of value that can be derived from, like you said, the coaching, the mentoring, the training, and as cheesy as it sounds, just people that actually genuinely care. They're either some of the best actors in the world that I've ever come across, or they genuinely do care about you. And I think that is one of the real unique things. And that really, for me, I think is very evident how it permeates into the community in terms of, the Facebook groups and the tribe and things like that. People genuinely care. And that's really, really difficult to find. And I think you raised a really good point earlier where, a lot of the information that's out there, a lot of the information that you do learn about how to make money online, it is out there for free. You could go onto YouTube and you could go and type in a video, okay, how do I start Instagram ads? And you can go and find that information out there for free. But knowing what order to do everything in and the kind of structures for go through, that is absolutely vital, isn't it? It's like saying, going into a library and trying to find out, how to build a house. Okay, someone's got to direct you to the specific section of, okay, these are where these books are, okay, and this is where you'll learn how to lay the foundations, this is where you'll learn how to install a roof, and so on and so forth. And I think that as much as yes, all right, there's lots of ways out there to go and learn how to start an online business, the two things for me that have really kind of absolutely bowled me over since I joined the SFM is just the impact, as I say, it's had on my all-round positive mental state and lifestyle, and also just the structure of the education I've just found very, very useful, because as I say, I think I would have been extremely lost if I
Yes.
was just relying on YouTube and Google alone, even though those tools are obviously amazingly helpful to kind of further exacerbate the training. So yeah, so I suppose my question in a roundabout way to you was, aside from the online, the practical application of the skills that you've learned so far into your online business, what impact would you say the SFM has had on you from just a personal perspective, if any? You know, good, bad, or indifferent. Has it had much of an impact on you as a person, the way you look at the world? You know, quite interested to hear your thoughts on that.
I think a couple of things. You know, being self-employed can be a little bit lonely, and working from home by yourself can be a little bit lonely. You know, my wife comes home and she tells me stories about the hijinks that they do in the office on each other with like glitter bombs and gluing stuff to each other's desks and that kind of stuff. And I don't get that kind of interaction because I'm at home in my home office by myself. And the community has given me an opportunity to make friends. And I don't have very many outlets for that. And I know that it doesn't sound pathetic, but if you have a lot of friends and you're super confident, you hear this conversation, that can sound kind of pathetic that I'm making friends online. But honestly, it's really been a cool thing in that way. And the community is made up of a lot of deliberate creators who are metaphysically minded and spiritually minded. And so it's a real self-improvement kind of group and entrepreneurship. And I really resonate with that. And so I'm meeting people who I have a lot in common with. And that's really cool.
Mm.
And then, you know, I think keeping me honest and calling me on my BS is one of the things that I've gotten from a couple of the elite coaches. You know, Justin Wolf for sure will call you on your stuff. And Frank has done that for me too, where, you know, I've been arguing for my limitations sometimes, you know, I'm trying to justify lack of forward progress by using my health situation as an excuse. And it's a reason, it's a legitimate reason, but it's also an excuse. And so I think having people there to keep me accountable and to provide different perspective and to keep me honest and looking at myself has been a really cool thing. And so those are the two things that immediately come to me, I guess.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree with that. And, you know, it's not all sitting around making daisy chains and patting each other on the back and going, oh, isn't it great we're running an online business? It is very much about holding people accountable for, I suppose, fulfilling their true potential, you know. And I think that for me is one of the things that going from I've been responsible for a level of performance in my other job, because it's a sales job at the end of the day. You know, you do have to be responsible for it, but I can kind of clock off at, you know, whenever I clock off 7 o'clock in the evening and get paid my wage, and it's, you know, you can kind of switch off. And I suppose being an entrepreneur and sort of starting this journey has sort of shown me that it is about, if you don't put the work in, if you don't kind of, if you're not accountable for actually doing what you know you need to do, your business isn't going to be successful, and it's not going to make you money. And having those people around you that do actually just hold you accountable and kind of pick you up when you get knocked back and you know, keep you moving forward, I found that massively invaluable as well, because fundamentally that's what any entrepreneur needs to do. There's no getting away from it. When you start off to sort of start a business, you need to be prepared to work bloody hard, because if you're not, you know, there is no such thing as a get rich quick scheme. And
Well, but you know what? So you may scare people away by saying you got to work bloody hard, because I think there are a lot of people who are already working their butts off, who are looking for a way out of working their butts off. And I think you got to be realistic. Yes, you're starting an online business. It's a business and it does require legwork, but it can be done in your spare time. However, I would say that the speed with which we accomplish tasks is 100% correlated to the chances we'll succeed. And I think that is why they push people through the training, is they know the faster you get it done, the greater the likelihood you'll be successful.
yeah, totally. I think that's a very good point. I mean, for me, and I'm sure the same for you as well, the whole automated element of an online business is what really drew me to it, because once you, like I say, have set it up, it is working for you then in the background, and, you know, it doesn't require as much of your time and effort as it does, you know, in a normal brick and mortar type business. Absolutely. But I suppose my point is that what I am very cautious to make sure people are aware of when they kind of come into this dream world of starting an online business is, all right, yes, you're entering into what is a very proven business system with something like the SFM, but it isn't a case of you pay X amount of money and then you have this business that just prints you cash, come rain or shine. It takes a lot of growing and evolving, I suppose, for you as a person to learn the skills that are required to make that business successful.
Well, but you know what, at least we have, there are 8-figure annual earners in our community, and that's crazy. That's a crazy number, right? But they're really there, and they're willing to help. And I think having access to people like that is probably the biggest deal now that I think about it in the community. Yeah. Being able to mastermind with people who are making 7 and 8 figures a year is an insane thing. And to be able to be mentored by those people is an unbelievable opportunity that most people don't get. And so.
Yeah, totally. Awesome. Okay, mate. Well, just suppose one last question before I let you go. I'm quite keen to hear your perspective on. So if you were speaking to someone who's in a job at the moment, they know what they're doing is not what they want to be doing for the rest of their life. They just, maybe life's lost its shine a little bit, and, but they don't quite know where to start and maybe don't know much about, an online business. What kind of advice would you give somebody, I suppose, in that situation?
Ooh. I don't know, because I don't want this to sound like a sales pitch. You know what I mean? I think that the SFM makes it available to everybody because it's only $29.95 to check out, and it's fully refundable for 30 days. So I think that there's really nothing to lose other than your time, because it's no questions asked, get your money back for, if you don't like what they show you in the first 30 days. So I would say, in order to, what I would say? I would say the quote in my email signature. And I heard this in a 12-step meeting a long time ago. Someone said, if nothing changes, nothing changes. And I thought that was so simple, but so profound. And that's totally true. If nothing changes, nothing changes. You must do something new in order to get different results in life. And so there's never going to be a perfect time, ever. So just take the jump. Try something new for 30 days. It's zero risk other than your time. And that way you're not ever going to look back and say, what if,
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. I think that's great advice. And I suppose my 2 pennies worth, to answer my own question, the advice I would give people, I think, aside from starting an online business, obviously we've both taken that decision to go down the route of starting an online business for our various reasons. But aside from starting an online business, my advice to anybody in a situation where they just know what they're doing at the moment isn't something they want to do for the rest of their life is just do something. Like I say, if nothing changes, nothing changes. Just do something about that to go and start a business, whether you think it's going to make you money or not. Start a business that is genuinely aligned to your passions, and from hearing you talking about the spirituality and, I think it really motivates me and really inspires me when I see people that do a business where the primary goal isn't necessarily, I want to make £1 million tomorrow. They're doing it because they genuinely enjoy it. And the way I see the internet is it's the way that, Gary Vee, I watched a lot of Gary Vee videos recently, but he always talks about how to sell anything, you need to get people's attention. Okay. Whether it's a street sign, whether it's an advert, whether it's a, YouTube post, whatever it is, you need to get someone's attention. The way I see it is everybody's attention is moving towards, these kind of handheld devices. Everybody on a daily basis is looking at these things. So I kind of say, if I'm going to start any business right now, of course I'm going to start it in a place where most people are going to be, and the internet and online business just makes total sense to me. It's a worldwide global audience. So, why would I not do that? But the thing I'm most passionate about, aside from it being an online business, and obviously for all the reasons we've mentioned about the automation side of it and saving you loads of time, that's obviously a massive tick in the box. But the big thing for me is about doing something I'm genuinely passionate about on a daily basis. And that's kind of been the biggest revelation to me since starting this online business, is I can finally feel like I'm being more of myself, rather than probably pretending to be somebody that I thought I was supposed to be in kind of my corporate world.
Well, but I think in everything that you're doing, you and I both and everyone, we are becoming more capable human beings. And I think that that's really empowering. And so you're like, wow, I am fulfilling my potential. And that's an amazing feeling,
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's just it's just everybody's job in life is to just work out what that passion is and do it, because it's very easy for people to turn around. I'm not saying I've got the answer yet. I definitely don't know yet exactly what that end goal is going to be, but I know where I am right now is definitely the right step forward to the next step. And then when I get there, I'm sure there's going to be the next step. But I do think it's everybody's, you get one life, my humble opinion, and it's everybody's job to work out what is that thing they're passionate about and give that message to the world, because that's ultimately how you're going to live a truly fulfilled life. Whether it makes you money or not, I think is a secondary thing. But I think by default, doing something you enjoy means you're going to be good at it. You're probably better at it than a lot of other people. And by default, you're probably going to make actually more money doing that than you would doing a job that you're just clocking in 9 to 5 and looking to pay the bills and looking to pay the mortgage.
Or you'll at least wake up every day with a smile on your face and realize that money doesn't buy happiness,
Totally. Yeah, totally. And that's actually for me probably one of the biggest lessons learned. I definitely came into an online business wanting to make money, and probably wrongly, I'd say, wanting to make more money than I was making right now. And I realized in my previous job, and I realized actually the money side of it, it really, the further and further down this journey I've gotten, I can see there's a huge potential there for the money to be made. And it's nice now that I'm starting to see some traction and actually starting to see some of the money coming in, which is fantastic. But it's so not my primary purpose now for doing what I'm doing. It's just a byproduct of delivering a really good service to the market. And that's such a refreshing place to kind of live your life from, because it just takes a lot of the stress, a lot of the pressure away from you, because you're not constantly worried about, finances and money and that kind of thing. It's just like, that money is going to be an inevitable outcome if you just continue to, as I say, do something you're passionate about. And, let's say wake up with a smile on your face every day. That's worth more than any kind of paycheck to me.
Right on.
Yeah, totally agree. Fantastic. Okay, mate. Well, look, thank you very, very much for spending the time to have a chat with us. Really, really good.
Of course. Absolutely, man. I appreciate it. Good to see you.
And you, absolutely. And rest up. Hope you feel better soon. And again, thanks for agreeing to have a chat with us. And I look forward to catching up with you in the not too distant future.
Sounds good, brother. I'm assuming our paths will cross many, many times.
I'm sure they will. Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you, Guy. Have a good day.
And you do. Take care, mate. Bye.
All right, bye.